Okay, so as you can see and probably as you can hear, it is torrential rain. I feel like it's just getting me in the zone and hyped up for going back to Ireland. It's prepping me because I need a lot of prep. Honestly, before I came to Greece, I found that I was already anxious about just going into another year of winter living in Ireland, because let's face it, it's a year-long winter. Anyway, I'm gonna do my makeup now. Even if it doesn't stop raining, I just feel like I want to do my face, and I would love to get some more outfit photos before we leave. But we're obviously going out for dinner tonight, so yeah, let's do my makeup. And I thought I would run through. I always function on a year to year from September. I'm like a school year kind of person. That's when I feel like after the summer is the end of my year and then I'm starting fresh again. So I thought I would run through things that I learned this year, especially since we moved back from Lisbon this time last year. We came back to Ireland, came straight to Greece for 5 weeks, and then we went back to Ireland, and then it's been a year since then. So I thought I would run through some things that I learned. So firstly, products that I have been loving. The Vive primer. This is the Instant Radiance Primer. And then I bought this when I was living in Lisbon actually, and I didn't use it because it was so dark. It went like really dark. But it's the Say Tinted Moisturizer, which I've been loving. And then the other base that I've been using is the Summer Fridays. This is shade 3. Little bit light for the color that I am now, so I'm going to use the same. Now this little recap might be broken up over the next few days because I tend to waffle a lot. But the first thing I learned was to zoom out. So one of the things I find that I do from being on social media so much for work, and because I'm just like fully addicted, is that I tend to zoom in really hyper focused, and I tend to hyper focus on what is lacking in my life. And I have found that the best thing to do is to zoom out. So basically, I have found that when you're so hyper-focused in what is wrong today or having a bad day, which I had a lot of this year, let's face it, you tend to forget about the bigger picture. I've often had to remind myself that whatever it is that is really bad that day or that I'm really anxious about that day, most likely will not be an issue in, let's say, 5 years or even 5 weeks. Now, sometimes this isn't true of everything, but I have found like the things that really get us down to day, if we take some time just to step back and look at the bigger picture, that can often help. I know when I'm listening to things, I always need examples. So for example, one of the biggest things this year that really got me down was, sorry, I'm turning on the aircon. One of the biggest things that really got me down was my work life and the lacking of it. When I was so hyper focused on the lack of it and how stressed it was making and how little direction I had and how little self-awareness I had really around it, because I really didn't know what I wanted to do, because that voice was so loud that, oh my God, this is the worst situation, it really made me feel like that was forever, when really, if I was honest with myself and when I zoomed out, the reality is that in that 5 years from now, the likelihood is that I will have it figured out. The next thing is choose your hard. And I'm sure you've seen this on social media. It's like this little meme or quote where it's like, marriage is hard, divorce is hard, choose your hard. Being fit is hard, being overweight is hard, or unfit is hard, choose your hard. So I really learned this year, and a lot actually from my friends' lives as well, which is a really big reminder that even though you think that everybody has it figured out, they really don't. My friends usually come to me for when they're really struggling with things. I'm good at listening, and I'm also just better when people are struggling. I'm good at empathizing and being where they are. But I've experienced that most people, even if you think they're not struggling, they are. But a lot of my friends either went through work changes or ending relationships. And the thing that I have learned, or I've had friends that are considering moving away or staying where they are. And what I've learned is being in a relationship that doesn't serve you is hard. Ending the relationship is hard and painful. Staying stagnant in a life let's say in Ireland is hard, and moving and facing all of the challenges and the change that comes with moving country or moving to a new place is hard. It's all hard, but what I have found is usually when you're staying with something because it's familiar and comfortable, that is harder. Because the thing that is familiar and comfortable, if it was for you, then you wouldn't have that desire to change. P.S. The Westman Atelier contour stick or bronzer stick, whatever you say, is by far my favorite product, and I have used it for since my wedding, so over 3 years now. Okay, and lesson number 3 is that rejection is often redirection and is often the path toward direction. So one of the biggest things, and I probably talked about this before when we were trying for Abe, the biggest thing that got me through it and that I actually learned from it and took with me into literally every part of my life is that every month we didn't get pregnant with Abe and the miscarriage we had, the thing that I believed more than anything was that the baby that was meant for us was coming. Every month that we didn't get pregnant was giving life and possibility to the baby that was actually meant for us. So, for example, there have been times in this year that I've either applied for a job or, I don't know, tried something and it hasn't gone the way that I wanted. And I truly believe because of Abe and because of the magic that he has brought into our life that I would never choose any other baby. I wouldn't wish for all the months that we tried that they had been successful. I'm glad that they weren't successful because we got Abe. I know that everything this year, no matter how hard or how much it has felt like a failure, I know that it has been it has felt like a rejection because it is redirecting me toward the path that I am fully meant to be on. Anastasia Brow Gel. Okay, so number 4 and the last one, because I know I'm gonna be waffling away here, but number 4 is that people will always have their opinions and offer advice, and I would advise, or what I have learned is to nod and let them. You don't have to take the advice, but I'm gonna share a pretty personal story, I would say, because I think this is probably the biggest thing that I learned this year, and it's something that I still struggle with, but I feel like everyone struggles with it. I have somebody in my life that at the beginning of this year, when I moved home and I was really struggling, we moved home from Lisbon, I was really struggling with not really knowing what I was gonna do work-wise, because I'm making a transition from being a yoga teacher, and because I've fallen out of love with that for now, and I've been figuring out what it is that I want to do. We came back from Lisbon because I wanted to take a shot basically at being a full-time content creator. And basically somebody in my life who is a little bit older and probably has very different values to me. So I would say that this person, honestly, this person is like one of the most important people in my life. I love this person to absolute bits and I wouldn't change the person for the world. But we are all very different and we all have had very different life experiences. We all have our own fears or things that we're worried about in our lives or things that we think are important, very different values, etc. And this person said to me, are you not bored of being a stay-at-home mom? Would you not, kind of basically give up on your dream of being a content creator? Do you really think that's going to happen? And would you not just get, I hear they have a secretary role down at the Blackrock Clinic or something. So obviously the first thing I felt was, firstly, what I felt was that this person was rating me and that they were criticizing my abilities and they were rating my abilities and really putting me in a box that I felt I didn't belong. And it made me question everything I thought that I was capable of. And it made me question the kind of validity of my dreams or what I had hoped to do with my work. Now, it's very easy to jump on the wagon and judge this person. I didn't really, because I love this person and I value their opinion. In an ideal world, people will give advice based on your needs and your values, and they'll be compassionate and they'll listen and they'll be open-minded. But honestly, that I don't feel like that's real life. And I think we're all very different. And whether it's generationally, people are different. I don't think that we can rely on people to constantly being aware of what they're saying and be mindful of what they're saying. I certainly amn't. I judge people constantly, and I try not to, but I do think that some people just haven't done the work, or they don't have the time to take time and think what you want or what your values are. Now, I believe fully that this person was giving advice out of love and out of care, and she was putting her own fears of, let's say, security. That's obviously important to her, and well, it's important to me too, but different people have like fears around things. So I think especially people of an older generation will be like, well, don't worry about if you love the job, just get a job, because that's the most important. I feel like on social media, there's a lot of kind of trends or memes about if people don't serve you, or if they're not in line with you, or if they don't make you feel 100% kind of celebrated all of the time, that you should kind of cut them out of your life. And honestly, I don't personally believe that. I think we should be surrounded by people who are different. We will always be surrounded by people who are different. And if we think that we should all be of the exact same mindset and values, then we would live in a world that was very boring. And I like to be challenged by how people think or how I think. And I don't think it's real life to have people celebrate you 24/7 and agree with you 24/7. Again, I think I wouldn't grow as a person if that was the case. And I think it's important to be comfortable around people who have different opinions. In saying that, I will come back to the thing I said at the beginning. Let them. Own your own path. Nobody else has to understand it. They don't have to agree with it, and they don't have to place value in your values, or they don't have to place value in your dreams. So it's okay to let them, but at the same time, I think it's very important that we don't allow other people's values to sway or to push us into judging or oppressing our own values. Okay, the sun looks like it's coming out. I'm nearly finished my makeup. The Huda Beauty pressed powder, or whatever it's called, in the pink color. Oh my God, I'm so obsessed. It literally has made holiday life just so much easier. And really, I love how it kind of brightens the under eye and obviously blurs out all of my pores. Look at that. Hello. Anyway, I am actually going to create some content now. Hopefully the weather has cleared up, and I'm gonna go, Connor's gonna help me create some content because he's the best. And yeah, I'm gonna bring you along obviously for the next few days. We leave on Friday, it's now Tuesday. So I actually didn't bring my tripod on this holiday because I was like, there's no way I'm gonna want to film things. But honestly, the one thing that I'm really looking forward to going back to Dublin is that I get back to work and I get back to filming. I really miss YouTube, and I'm not going to make any promises, but I would really love to be able to... I think that this year is going to be my year for work and for YouTube, and there's already some things happening. Work is definitely picking up, and I can feel something shifting in my gut. I don't know what it is, but I feel as soon as I'm able to get into a work routine, YouTube is the first thing that I want to get back into, because I was watching Stephanie Blah recently. If you don't follow her, oh my God, I'm so obsessed with her. I discovered her through her 10,000 calorie challenge, which was the biggest failure of all time. just the most entertaining thing I've ever watched. Myself and my husband watched it during COVID, and I totally fell in love with her. Anyway, she's like a New York at heart girly like me, and we've bonded over social media. Anyway, I was watching her YouTube, her latest one. She does a lot of travel vlogs, which I'm obsessed with. She also works for Sheerlux, which is basically my dream job. And anyway, she was just talking about how just the content on YouTube is the best, and I would agree. Anyway, I'm gonna finish my makeup. One of the last steps, mascara, YSL, the best, and go create some content, and I will try and bring you along. Yeah, maybe I guess.
Beer is shite there as well.
It's a positive note. On my Greek holiday vlog, you can see hear my husband saying beer is shite.
Well, in that place it is, but it's good in
most places.
Yeah, other places.
We are on our way up to shoot some content. Last week I had a job for a brand, and where we go in Greece, what I love about it is that there's very little luxury. So everyone's in the same boat pretty much. No matter how much money you have, you can't get luxury. So the aesthetic just wasn't giving on our balcony. So we went on the hunt for a good location, and there's this bar that I actually used to bring my retreat group to all the time because it's beautiful, really good view and really clean aesthetic, you'll see here. But we got here to shoot and it's been closed down, which I knew, but it's all like barbed wire. Sorry, obviously still threatening to rain again. So I was about to turn on my heel, and then Connor was like, no, let's try break in, which isn't very like him. So you're very adventurous. So anyway, we're here again to try again, but it's very difficult. You can see how high the barbed wire is, so we have to climb over. So wish us luck. Oh my god, I just about got that on video.
How'd it look?
Yeah, really slick.
Did I?
Yeah.
Slick eye.
Back from my run, showered, had my breakfast. A lot of the time when you're here for like 5 weeks, eating out gets a little bit, I mostly love it, but breakfast I find I like to just take things really slow in the morning and have breakfast at home and then go out for a coffee. So we're just going out for our morning coffee, which I already had one this morning, but my second coffee of the day. I woke up this morning with like just intense anxiety, this like tightness in my chest. It's really hard when I kind of have a feeling of what the main thing is, but I haven't been sleeping great here, as in we've been getting up super early because we like to do all of our have a coffee, exercise, etc. before Abe gets up at about 9:30, 10. And sometimes when you're trying to catch up with friends or whatever, you're staying out a little bit later, and it just means that I'm not sleeping great or for long enough. Basically, I wanted to say that I noticed this morning that like my thoughts were just like bouncing from just like loads of like negative and fear-based thoughts about everything. And I think the best thing for me to do when I'm in that kind of anxiety state is firstly to say that panic is a very human thing. It's there for a reason, and I do think that this specific anxiety is lack of sleep. My trip or the end of our holiday is coming up, and just getting back into winter is starting to make me feel extremely anxious because I hate winter and I find it really difficult. And yeah, I noticed as well that that negative anxiety is trickling into other things. So I'm starting to like have like negative thoughts about my body, and oh my god, I ate that thing. And anyway, just noticing that anxiety and panic is like really human. There are certain things that are triggering it, and then it's bleeding into other things. And I've gotten good at noticing that those thoughts really most of the time are not true. Yes, the facts are that I'm going home and I'm a little bit anxious about that, but the other stuff is just my anxiety speaking, and it's trying to latch on to just anything it can, anything that it used to be super anxious about, like for example my body. It's starting to bring those things up again. And yeah, if you try to breathe into it, accept it, almost invite it in and welcome it and say it's okay to come in, like fear is really natural and it's just trying to protect me. The more you allow it to be a human thing rather than a personal thing, I find that really helps. So anyway, actually having that chat with you guys has really helped me. So anyway, it actually rained again this morning. It's true September weather here. It can be like hit or miss, but I'm gonna go have a coffee now. And yeah, this is our second last day. We are going out for dinner tonight for our anniversary, and my oldest friend is Greek. She's from this village. I've been coming here my whole life, and she is babysitting Abe, which I'm kind of nervous about because I've never left him with a friend before. Actually, that's a lie. I've left him with his godmother Domino before. But he kind of has met Domino obviously loads of times and he knew her, whereas he doesn't really know Anastasia. So anyway, we'll see how that goes. But I'm really excited for our date night. It's our 3-year anniversary. We got married here 3 years ago. So yeah, it's a special day. It is our last morning. I'm nearly all packed. I'm just waiting for Abe to get up and finish all the last bits. But before I get into a little DMC, I wanted to do a little rundown. Girl, Woman, Other, I started just before I left, so I brought it with me. Didn't like it, couldn't get into it, so I gave up. And then this book I finished finally. It was very hard to get any reading time with Abe on the beach. Really liked it. The ending, little bit just kind of, I felt a little bit thrown together. Wasn't sure that I loved the ending, but I still would recommend it. I really liked it. A really good holiday read and very different to anything I've ever read, so I loved that. And now I have started The Marriage Story, which is set in like the 15th century, very different to anything I've read before because it's, yeah, but I feel like it's kind of like Anna Boleyn kind of style. So yeah, I'm really excited about this and loving it so far. And then I thought I would show you what's in my little kind of carry-on liquid bag. I got this like one of those packing cube sets from Amazon before I left, and I would really recommend it. This is the one that I got. So I actually stocked up on melatonin while I was here, because you can get them over the counter. My L-Troxin, which I have an underactive thyroid. My headphones. I've been loving these, not out of choice, but because I can't afford to buy new ones. But I'm actually really enjoying them. More L-Troxin. My fish oils. Then I got these on Amazon as well. Which I'll admit I haven't actually had a chance to even try yet, but they are the Elho Biocollagen Real Deep Mask. I'm pretty sure Courtney Grow recommended these, and I'm obsessed with her, so I just bought them. Hopefully I'll get some time on the flight home, because that was my original plan. The Summer Fridays lip balm I bought before I left, and I'm fully obsessed. It's vanilla, and j'adore. Or just j'adore. And then the Laneige sleeping mask. This is in the Berry Love deodorant always. Summer Fridays, I love you. Now I will admit I rarely put on moisturizer without washing my face first, but just in case, this is great. I'm obsessed with anything almond. I love this by L'Occitane hand cream, and these little old AirPods that are pretty crap. Then I have loads of bobbins, because you always run out. And then I don't know why I have this in here, because I'm definitely not going to be using it on the plane, but I still love it. It's the Rhode Peptide Lip Tint, and a tampon just in case. So yeah, that's what's in my little liquid. Looking back, I've been doing a little bit of editing, and looking back over the little DMC I had with you guys, one of the other things that I realized within my story about my family member who made that comment about getting a job or getting a real job, that not only can you feel like people are rating you or putting you in a box, you also a lot of the time are being reminded of your own self-doubt. And I think that's really important as well, to take responsibility as well for your own self-doubt. And I feel like some people come from a good place, and they're not putting you down, or they're not rating you in a negative way. They're just projecting their own fear. And some people will also put you in a box because they need you to be in that box, for themselves and to make themselves feel better. And we all do that, so I know I do, so I can't judge other people for doing it. And also I just feel it's a really good way to become more self-aware. So when you are sensitive around certain topics, or you feel like you're taking offense for things that people are saying to you, I think you can use it as a positive. You can take note of it, and you can see, oh, that didn't sit well with me, and that triggered something inside me. I think I really doubt myself in that area, and why is it that I doubt myself, and can I be kinder to myself, and can I remember that I'm doing my best, and that yes, I might fail at this, but that's okay, and it doesn't mean the end. And whatever it is, I just feel when we are triggered by other people, I feel like it's a really good time to take note about what's going on inside, and what our narrative is about ourselves and to ourselves. And it's not always the first thing you'll do. You have to be basically the Dalai Lama to be able to be like, oh, constantly floating through life and taking zero offense from what people say. We're human, and obviously we will take offense, but I think upon reflection we can always do the work on ourselves and take a look at how we read things, and allow it to make us stronger, and yeah, kinder to ourselves, and in turn kinder to other people. Anyway, another little DMC, but this holiday has been nearly 5 weeks, 4.5 weeks of pure bliss. I really relaxed, and after probably the hardest year and one of the darkest years I've had, emotionally and mentally and everything. It was really what I needed, and I won't say that I'm looking forward to going back, because part of me is quite anxious about it, only because I'm scared, and I think that's okay. I think it's okay to be worried that I'll go through another year like I did last year, because that's what I'm most familiar with. But I'm also going into it on a really, really positive note, and trusting that rarely does work that you've done go unnoticed. Rarely does the showing up all year for work when I didn't want to do it, or I didn't feel like I was able, or I didn't feel like it was worth it, because I thought that maybe I would forever be a loser. Rarely does the work not pay off, and in whatever form it takes, maybe not what I expect, but I know and I trust that just like we received our miracle baby Abe, that miracles are always on the horizon, and just because you can't see the magic happening doesn't mean that it's not there, and I do believe that. So anyway, this is the end of today's vlog, and I hope you enjoyed it. I'm super excited to get back into work and bringing you all of the magic that I know is coming.